Welcome back to Relating Relationships. Nami uvusumuzu mfowethu Dlamini onene sidlula dlela silobamba, where we are addicted to good conversations. Guys, we have so many comments. You guys have come up. Some of them have sent us DMs, and thank you so much. We would like to actually look at one of those DMs that we think so much that it carries what we've been trying to talk about. Not trying, but what we've been talking about. So my wife today is going to be joining me again, Uteri Walankosi, and we're going to discuss this. Let's have fun. So welcome, my love. Welcome back. Yes, let's do this again. So how have you been doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing very great, and I'm very happy to be here once again. This is 1 hour that I look forward to, and as always, it's so super awesome and so fulfilling to work with you guys.
I love that. I love that. So what have you been up to though? What have you been busy with?
Sure. Of course, pondering about marriage as we are speaking about relationships, and I was going through the comments on our YouTube channel, and I got touched by a few, and there was one that was just outstanding, and I'd love us to speak about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Read and speak about it.
So when you say outstanding, what is it that about that specific comment that makes you feel what we must like maybe discuss it? Is there anything specific?
I think just maybe let me just go through it,
Okay.
read it,
Okay.
and let's hear it, and then we'll go into details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that then.
All right. All right. This comment goes like this. Background check is important, but we overlook it. I overlooked it, and it resulted in crippling my marriage. We ignore the signs or things we must pay attention to. But we want to get married to each other as soon as possible because we love each other. Until our history follows us back into this marriage. And now we cannot deal with it. You find people in one house, but separate lives. No communication, because sometimes we cannot tell our partners that they don't know. Certain things we must do, because ignoring them can be creeping. How you deal with it matters if you can deal with it. That's the comment. You know, there's just so much that is in this comment for me that we can actually unpack looking into it, because this person is clearly, you know, that is, yes, after listening to our message here, and just to say that it has affected him, you know, just to know that yes, as much as we are talking about this, and we know very well, it has affected a lot of marriages. And the big question becomes, between the two of us as a couple, are we teachable? Are we ready to compromise? Like I said in the previous episode, that no background is wrong in a way, or should be looked up to, because I didn't choose to grow up where I grew up and to belong to the family that I belong to. And what I was taught as I was growing up, I found myself in that situation. So when I get into marriage, then I must be teachable. I must be willing to compromise, you know? So yeah, that is it that I want us to speak about this in this episode.
And I think you're saying something that's very interesting. And I think I want to say this again. The understanding of these backgrounds just helps you to be able to deal with each other better.
That's true.
Right? We're not saying that if you understand them, then you must not stay with this person. We are saying that when you understand them, and both of you understand them, and both of you, like you bring something that's important, both of you be teachable.
Yes.
To say, you know, because like sometimes I wonder, Guti, do we realize? And I think you said this the other day, babes. You said sometimes we think umshado just happens, and we don't realize that it's work. It's work in progress. You have to be willing to work it. You have to be willing to say, I'm gonna play my part in understanding the situation and understanding this person's background. Because we have spoken to people that were divorced, and they said, if we knew this before, then we would have still be together.
That's true.
And we would be okay. But we broke up because I didn't want to listen. I was not teachable. And my partner was not teachable as well. So with this one where he says, it says that as a result, because he overlooked the background, as a result, it's crippling umshado wakhe.
Yes.
His marriage has been crippled because now that he's in marriage, he realizes that there's a lot of background things that are happening that are affecting umshado wabo manje.
Yes.
But what we are saying is the fact that now you can pick it up. There's hope whereby the two of you, if you can sit down and say, hey, we realize with this background check we didn't do it before. Now can we sit? Can we be teachable? Can I listen to what you're saying? And can you listen to what I'm saying?
That's true.
And we can work it out.
That's true. Not that it's an impossible situation. You know, the other thing is when we get in, not to rail him from this comment, the other thing that we don't actually speak about before we get into this marriage is our expectation.
Oh yes.
And now somebody says, this is not what I signed up for. But the big question is, what did you sign up for? You know, now we get to a point of saying, we never spoke about our expectation. And our expectation, in a way, reveals our background.
Wow.
Right?
Please say that again. Our expectations
reveals
our
background as well.
Wow.
You know, when we speak about what we are expecting from each other, it will reveal how we grew up.
Oh yes.
You know,
oh, yes.
just before I get back to this comment, just to say, from my husband, I am expecting him to buy me a car because I saw my daddy buying my mom a car. I'm just giving an example.
Yes,
there is that expectation that we
sense.
don't even speak about. But now, when we speak about those things that we are expecting from each other, then it gives me an idea to say that, okay, this beloved has grown or was raised this way. You know, there are so many examples that we can give. Yes, but going back to our followers' comment, which is very important. We want to get married. Why? Because we love each other. But what are we bringing into this marriage? Who are we? We don't look at it. Getting into marriage is only based on we love one another. And for those that have been in this journey of marriage for some time, for a couple of years, I want to believe you will attest with me that there is a point whereby your marriage is at a stable place. Love is no longer butterflies, it's a decision.
It's true, because I wanted to say, to add on that, when we say we love each other, what does it even mean?
Yeah.
You know, what is it that when I say I love this person and I want to get married with this person now, what is it exactly? What is love? You know, and like you're saying, like over the years we've learned that love is not the feelings.
It's not the feelings.
Actually, what I've shared this before. One of the best advice that I got in our counseling when we were about to get married, somebody said, gave me, love is a decision, and you decide to keep on loving the decision that you've made.
Sure.
So I decided that I'm going to marry you. So then I must decide to love the decision I've made.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, wow.
And another reason of deciding to love your decision, it's because things change. You know, there are just so many things that changes from where we come from and where we are. One of it being the body structure. We gain weight.
I knew you were going to talk about that one.
Now, if the love that I had for this person was based on, A, he's a bodybuilder, and as he grows older, he loses interest in that. You know, when I met my husband, he was a gym fanatic. He used to go to gym all the time, but boy, I don't know where he lost that. And I had to love.
You took the time.
Okay, I took the time. Whatever the case is, the kids came into the picture. There's so many things, not only about it being a negative thing. There are so many factors that changes along the way, and they make me lose interest in other things. You know, you know, somebody would say, "Hey, I want a wife with long hair," and you go like, "Is that really a matter?" You know? Sure. And when I grow older, I lose interest in long hair. I choose to keep my short hair. Then what happens to your love? To me, does it change because that factor has changed? So there are so many things that we need to look into. There are so many things that changes along the way that says you must love the decision that you have
made.
That's it.
So again, like every time we talk about this, we realize how much is actually in this conversation, in this topic.
Yeah.
Because now we bring that part to love, you know. But we'll get there. What love is? What is love? But I just want us to go back to this comment. So we spoke about the overlooking of the background check, right? He says here, I overlooked it, and it resulted in crippling my marriage. We ignore the signs or the things we must pay attention to, but we want to get married. We want to get married to each other as soon as possible because we love one another, we love each other. And I think what is important is the fact that it is true that when you meet somebody, the feelings that you have for this person, you don't wanna attach anything that's negative to this person. Right? And that's why we ignore these things, because I know how many times we do counseling, how many times we talk to somebody and say, but were the signs there? And most of them, they'll tell you the signs were there, but we ignored them because we were feeling this thing we wanted to be together and stuff. And now the challenge becomes what you don't deal with it in the beginning, you're gonna have to deal with it in the end or inside. Like, so if I was dealing with it before umshado, like he's saying, but now this thing that I've overlooked, now it's crippling my marriage. So inkinga ayikho. Inkinga is because we ignored that. Yes. You know, I'm reminded with a counseling session, we do counseling, marriage counseling and coaching. We had a couple that were going through these motions, right? I didn't sign up for this. He doesn't do this anymore and stuff. And the guy was saying, no, you know more about what I must do, more than what you must do. And it was all that. And you asked them a question. The first question that you asked them was, when did you guys stop loving each other? And they said, no, we have not stopped loving each other. We love each other. And the second question you asked them was, when did you start being selfish? And they kept quiet. I also kept quiet when I heard this. But when did you start being selfish? Because in the beginning, when you're dating, I always wanted to give you something. Yeah. You know, I was the one who was more understanding. If you said you're late, I'll be like, no, and I'll wait happily because I love you. I want to see you and stuff and whatever. And when we stop giving in our relationship and we start wanting, that's where the problems start. That's true. Right? Because if our attitude stays that, we'll say, I didn't want to do anything that was going to make you sad. And I believe the same for you on your side. So if we carry that through that will bring us to what you spoke about earlier on, the patience. That you need to have patience with each other. Because where now you might think which you are right, but you're completely wrong. And I might think that I'm right and but when we get to a point of saying, Guti, how is this servicing our union? How is this making you happy? And your attitude as well as how is this making me happy? Then these things, and guys, it's not like Guti, when your focus is in the right place, these things will disappear. When your focus is in the right place, it makes it easier to deal with those things.
That is so very true. You know, I think, babes, you have put it so beautiful. Guti, in a relationship, your desire is to give, is to see this person happy. You know, and this person also has the same desire. Like you said, when you're in courtship, when you are joining, you know, waiting sometimes is not a challenge. I know it can be a challenge to other people even in that period, but most of the time we are very understanding. Okay, it's okay, I will wait. It's okay, I will do this and that. When I see something beautiful in a shop, all I think of, oh, if only I can buy my love this thing. Buying each other gifts, it's not a challenge. We do it, but hey, after marriage, there are just so many things that changes. But the truth is, we allow them to change.
Oh yes.
We allow them. They not happen automatically. There's nothing that happens automatically in shopping. Whatever comes in, if we can look at marriage with an eye that says whatever attacks or whatever challenges that we are facing, it's not to fight one another, but it's that challenge against both of us.
Oh yes.
And we see how we can tackle whatever we are facing. But now when things happen, we point fingers at each other. It's your fault. It's my fault. You know, those kind of things. So it is very important, very, very important that we continue with the spirit of giving, even inside marriage.
Sure. So, guys, yeah, I want to say this again, like we said the other time. Abantu baqonda umshado uthola nje unjalo. They think that marriage will just happen by itself. It's work. It's very much work, and it's both of us willing to work it. Because I'm thinking, even with this comment here, Guti, I can just imagine how would things turn out if these two people can sit down and say, Yazin, we overlooked certain things, right? We overlooked our background. We are fighting because when now you're saying, Ubaba, my dad did it this way, at home we did it this way, my mother did it this way, at home we did it this way. Or even points whereby you stayed in a home and you were like, I will never allow this to happen to me, right? Where maybe you saw how your father was mistreating your mother and your mother accepted it, or the other way around, and it's like, mina, I will never indoda ngeke mina ngivumele ukuthi yenze 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So when we pick those things up and we are able to say, okay babes, so this thing is ilongayo, what exactly is the problem, right? And then see how can we work it out. That's the work part of marriage. Is it doable? Yes. Is it a lot of work? Yes. But you know what? Everything that is doable, it's a lot of work. When you do it, it gives results ultimately. You know, because like he says, you find two people staying in one house, but separately. Yeah. Because now I want to hold on to my beliefs. You want to hold on to your beliefs to a point whereby I'm not going to compromise. And if I'm not compromising, this is a question. If you're not compromising, at what cost? At what cost? How? What are you expecting? What do you? I don't know how to even put it. There's a cost for everything. So if you're saying I didn't sign up for this, And my wife always asks this, and this is what has happened. Right? We've had people say, I didn't sign up for this. And you ask them, what have you signed up for? They won't tell you what they signed up for.
Yeah.
But if you can get to the point of saying, you know what, somebody said, Guti, what's the use of winning an argument and losing a person, right? Where I argue with you, and I was talking to a very close friend of mine, and we just he's gonna come on the show and stuff, and we're just talking as guys, and we're talking about our wives and the struggles and I remember saying to him, Ngeti, one of your challenges is you know how to argue. So because you know how to argue and you know where you can argue every point, then I don't want to argue with you. Because when you win every argument that we have. So when I get to a point of saying I don't want to argue with you, you've lost me.
Sure.
Because you want to win every argument. You want everything to go your way. Your belief system, this is what I believe things must be done. At what point? At what cost?
That's right.
And guys, the truth of the matter, like you said, babes, we're allowing it.
That's right.
If it falls apart, we are the ones who allowed it. If it works, we are the ones who have worked it.
We've worked it out, yes. Like the saying, finding people in the same house and living separate lives. What could cause that? To live separate lives with this person that I had claimed to love, with this person that I had served through thick and thin, in good times and in bad times. What does that even mean to me? And through you, my beloved host, may we speak about even this vows that we have done when we got married. Because it sounds like a good thing when I make those vows and people are ululating and it's beautiful. But the depth of those vows, do I even understand?
For better, for worse.
For better, for worse.
Till death do us part.
It doesn't matter. I think the other thing that kept me and kept us going in this marriage is when I think of the depth of what I said. That what did it mean to me when I said for better, for worse? Now, the challenge becomes we have our own understanding
of what better and worse is.
Yes. And somebody would say, I didn't mean this worse. So that is another topic. Before we open that topic, this beloved here, it's saying, how you deal with it matters if you can deal with it.
Wow.
Yo.
If you can deal with it.
If you can deal with it. Because there are other things that we will say to each other that will make it difficult for us to deal with. That's why I spoke about the power of what you say through your mouth earlier on. Now, there are other things that you would say that can be irreversible and that hits to the core, that you'd not even have an explanation on them. Uguti, this is what I meant. Now, I believe, Uguti, this guy here is saying, if we can deal with them, because there are other things that I can say to you, babes, and they make it difficult for me to come back, even to say I apologize. Because the power of it, it's, how did you even think of that? Hey, I'm even scared of giving an example to open a can of worms to other people. But that is it. Guys, love, it's a beautiful thing. It is work. We need to work it out. What you said, babes, earlier on in the statement that I also quoted, this is not what I signed up for. And when you say, what did you sign up for? I remember this other lady saying, I signed up for a better marriage. But I I said, you speak as if there was a better marriage sitting in a packet somewhere. You can pick it up. A better marriage is what we choose.
You work for it.
You work for it. When we say, wow, that is a power couple.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. It's because these people chose.
Oh, yes.
To make this marriage work. And over time, we see this beautiful display that they give us. Does that mean those people don't have challenges? Not at all. I don't believe that. It doesn't mean that. But we chose to say, for better, for worse, we'll do it together through and through.
Yeah, basically, we've got so much that we need to talk to and we're talking about. I just want to thank you once more for coming through, for us to have this conversation. And we're still going to carry on. I want to read this last part here where he says that certain things, he talks about how we ignored these things, and these things are causing, because we ignored them, they are causing and crippling our marriage. And then he says, how you deal with this matter, if you can, with it matters. How you deal with it matters, if you can. So I would like to hear what would be your advice if you were to sit and advise this kind of a situation. In our next episode, that'll be nice to hear that. But guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us. This is Relating Relationships, where we are addicted to good conversation with Uteri Nkosi and Novus Mozo Nkosi. Thank you very much.